Hello guys, welcome to my channel and to another story. Today, we're diving into a moment that shook the media world. A clash that started with a cheap shot but ended with a powerful lesson about respect, hypocrisy, and the double standards we often see in the spotlight. So, grab your popcorn, because this one's a roller coaster. Let's get into it. Imagine this. You're a talk show host known for your sharp tongue and no-holds-barred interviews. You've got a controversial guest in the hot seat, and you think you've got the perfect setup to take them down. But what happens when your plan backfires spectacularly? And instead of humiliating your guest, you end up exposing your own hypocrisy on live TV. That's exactly what happened to Lindsay Moore when she tried to take on Donald Trump. Let's break it down. The stage was set in a brightly lit Los Angeles studio, packed with an audience buzzing with anticipation. The cameras were rolling, the tension was thick, and seated at the glossy interview desk was Donald Trump, his posture relaxed, his expression unreadable. Across from him sat Lindsay Moore, a liberal talk show host known for her pointed jabs at conservative figures. She had built her career on moments like these, moments where she could bait, provoke, and watch her guests squirm under the heat of her questions. And tonight, she had something special planned. From the moment the cameras went live, Moore was on the offensive. "Mr. Trump, thank you for being here," she said with a saccharine smile, her voice dripping with false politeness. Trump nodded slightly, his hands folded in front of him. "My pleasure, Lindsay. Let's see if you can keep up." A few chuckles rippled through the audience, but Moore didn't flinch. She was used to this kind of banter. If anything, she welcomed it. The opening minutes followed a predictable pattern. Politics, policy, the usual back and forth. Moore took shots. Trump swatted them away effortlessly. The audience seemed entertained, but they were waiting for something bigger, something more personal. And Moore was about to deliver exactly that. She shifted in her chair, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear as if preparing to drop a bomb. Then, with a casual air, she leaned in, her eyes gleaming with something just short of malice. "Have you ever thought about cheating on Melania? Because, let's be honest, she's kind of outdated." The room froze. The air felt heavier, as if the temperature had just shifted. The audience, once murmuring and chuckling, fell dead silent. Even the camera operators, trained to remain detached, seemed to hesitate. Moore kept her smirk, but something in her posture betrayed her. She had gone too far, and she knew it. Trump didn't respond right away. He just stared, not at Moore, not at the audience, but at the desk in front of him, his fingers lightly tapping against the surface. The tension was suffocating. Then, slowly, he lifted his head, his expression unreadable, a mix of amusement, disbelief, and something sharper. "Let me get this straight," he said, pausing just long enough for the weight of his words to settle. "You're sitting there on national television, calling my wife, the former First Lady of the United States, outdated." The word itself lingered, sharp as a blade. Somewhere in the crowd, someone muttered, "Damn." Moore tried to recover, forcing a laugh. "Oh, come on, Donald. It's just a question. Lighten up." But Trump wasn't having it. He leaned forward slightly, his eyes locked on hers. "It's not a question, Lindsay. It's an insult. But let's pretend for a second that you actually meant it as a real question." He gestured toward the audience. "Imagine if I flipped it around. Imagine I was sitting here with a married female politician, a Democrat, of course, and I asked her, 'Hey, have you ever thought about cheating on your husband? Because, let's be honest, he's kind of outdated.' You'd have CNN running a special about how I'm a misogynist before I even left this building." The audience erupted. Some laughed, some gasped, and others just watched, stunned. Moore opened her mouth to respond, but no words came out. Trump wasn't done. "Let's talk about outdated," he continued, his voice steady. "Melania Trump speaks 5 languages. She's been a successful businesswoman. She was the First Lady of the United States. And you, a feminist, a champion of so-called women's empowerment, You sit here and try to reduce her value to an expiration date. Moore shifted in her chair, forcing a small smirk. Oh, come on, Donald. It was just a joke. Trump tilted his head. A joke? Well, let me ask you something, Lindsay. Do you have an expiration date? The smirk vanished. The audience made a sound, half gasp, half murmur. Moore's fingers twitched slightly against the table. She was scrambling, but Trump wasn't finished. You want to talk about outdated like it's some kind of punchline? Let's be real here. If a conservative man had sat in this chair and called Michelle Obama outdated, you'd be calling for his career, his job, his head on a plate. A flicker of something crossed Moore's face. She knew he wasn't wrong. By the time the interview ended, the power in the room had flipped entirely. Moore had thrown a punch, expecting Trump to stumble. Instead, she had given him the moment of the night, and the fallout was just beginning. Within minutes of the interview wrapping up, clips of the exchange flooded social media. The moment Lindsay Moore asked her now infamous question, followed by Trump's unflinching takedown, spread like wildfire. Comment sections erupted. Imagine the outrage if someone called Michelle Obama outdated on national TV. One post read, "Lindsay Moore just played herself," another said. The backlash against Moore was swift and relentless. By the next morning, headlines dominated the news cycle. Sponsors for her show began feeling the heat, and even some liberal voices distanced themselves from her remarks. Moore tried to respond with a carefully crafted statement, but it didn't help. The internet wasn't done with her yet. What started as an attempt to humiliate Trump had backfired spectacularly, turning Moore into the target of a backlash she hadn't anticipated. The moment had turned into a debate about media bias, double standards, and the way powerful women, especially conservative ones, were treated. And Trump? He didn't just defend his wife. He forced the conversation into uncomfortable territory. This wasn't just about Trump or Melania or even Lindsay Moore. It was about respect. It was about the hypocrisy of the so-called empowerment movement that only protects women they agree with. And for many people watching, it was a wake-up call. Melania Trump was many things: a former model, a businesswoman, a first lady. But she was not outdated. She was not disposable. And no woman should be. So, what do you think? Should more people call out this kind of hypocrisy? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next story.